Ever look at self-made millionaires and wonder how the hell they get more than 24 hours in a day? Seriously, look at them. While you're fighting your third snooze alarm, a select few have already won the day before you've even brushed your teeth. They multiply results, close deals, build empires, and they don't even look desperate doing it. The answer isn't in the coffee they drink. It isn't in waking up at 4 a.m. to freeze in a cold shower. And it definitely isn't just hard work. The real difference happens in the first 20 minutes of their day, before they even get out of bed. See, when you wake up, what's the first thing you do? You grab your phone, check notifications. Less than 60 seconds in, and you've let the world hijack your attention. You remember the bills, the boss, that argument from yesterday. Before your feet hit the floor, you're already living in the past. But the millionaire, he plays a different game. He knows these first 20 minutes are a glitch in the matrix, a biological loophole. They use this time not to check emails, but to hack their own reality. They use a technique neuroscience calls mental rehearsal. To them, the day isn't something that randomly happens. It is a movie they have already watched, already lived, and already won inside their mind before the sun even came up. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what they do in these 20 minutes, and why ignoring this is the exact reason you stay stuck in the same place year after year. First 20 minutes after waking up, your brain is in a state called theta waves. It's this weird twilight zone between deep sleep and being wide awake. Little kids live there most of the time. When a 3-year-old puts on a dinosaur costume, they aren't pretending. They believe they are a dinosaur. Their brain isn't faking it. It's programming. The millionaire never stopped using this state, he just learned to access it strategically. You wake up and grab your phone immediately. Boom. You force your brain straight into beta state, survival mode. Analysis, judgment, fear. Your brain screaming, watch out for the predator, the late bill, the pissed off boss. You literally abort the theta window before you even use it. The millionaire protects these 20 minutes like they are gold, because they are. In this theta state, the barrier between the conscious and subconscious gets thin. So thin that you can plant seeds directly into the fertile soil of the mind. Without resistance. Without that cynical voice in the back of your head saying, "This is bullshit." Think about it like this. Your brain in beta state is dry concrete. You can scream affirmations at it all day. Nothing gets through. It's like trying to sculpt stone with your bare hands. The brain in theta, wet clay, malleable, receptive. You don't have to force anything, you just mold it. Millionaires know this. The only difference between their broke version and their millionaire version was never talent. It was never luck. It was always repetition during this sacred window. When you mentally rehearse something in theta, you create real neural synapses. Your brain builds superhighways for behaviors that don't exist in your life yet. It trains for a game you are yet to play. Olympic athletes have been doing this for decades. They mentally rehearse the perfect race, the perfect jump, before even stepping on the track. MRI studies show that the same areas of the brain light up during mental rehearsal and during real action. Same areas, same chemistry. Why the hell do you think this wouldn't work for closing a deal? For negotiating a raise? For having the confidence to launch that product that's been rusting in your head for 2 years? It works. You were just never taught how to access the right window. You were trained to wake up, react, and survive. The millionaire was trained to wake up, create, and dominate. It all starts with 20 minutes of wet clay. So, what actually happens in these 20 minutes? I'm going to show you exactly what a millionaire does. And before you think it's some complex ritual with candles and mantras, relax. It's simpler than you imagine, and that's the problem. Simple doesn't sell $5,000 masterminds. He wakes up and unlike you, he does not touch his phone. That alone eliminates 90% of the competition. He stays lying down or sits on the edge of the bed, takes a few deep breaths, just breathing to keep the brain in that theta state we talked about. And here comes the part that changes everything. He closes his eyes and starts the mental rehearsal. But listen, because most people get this completely wrong. They keep repeating, I am rich, like a bored parrot. This doesn't work. Your brain knows you're lying. It looks at your bank account and goes, yeah, right. The millionaire plays differently. He doesn't affirm, he lives it. Inside his head, he is watching and feeling a high-definition movie of the perfect day. Not a generic day. The specific day he wants to create. Let's get concrete. Say he has a meeting at 10 a.m. A negotiation that could bring in $100,000. During mental rehearsal, he doesn't just visualize the meeting went well. That's too vague. The brain hates vague. He visualizes entering the room. He feels the weight of the leather briefcase in his left hand. He hears the sound of his own footsteps on the hardwood floor. He sees the client's face across the table. He notices the details, the guy's blue tie, the half-full glass of water. He hears his own voice, steady, presenting the proposal. He feels the confidence in his chest, that physical sensation of, I know this is closing. He sees the client smiling. He hears the words, we have a deal. He feels the texture of the handshake, firm, warm, real. He even visualizes walking back to his car afterward, letting out that sigh of victory. Texting his wife, we got it. All 5 senses working. Sight, sound, touch, even the smell of that coffee on the meeting table. The brain cannot distinguish this from a real memory. It archives it as an experience. And when 10 a.m. comes around, the brain will say, I've done this before. I know how it ends. Confidence doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from repetition. The athlete who mentally rehearses the jump 1,000 times doesn't get nervous at the real jump. His brain has already jumped 1,000 times. It has already felt the victory 1,000 times. This is the secret no one tells you. Mental rehearsal isn't silly positive thinking. It is live fire training with blanks. It is neurological preparation for a reality that doesn't exist in the physical world yet, but already exists completely inside your head. And there is more. The millionaire doesn't just rehearse the meeting. He rehearses the version of himself that lives at that level. He sees himself waking up with energy, making fast decisions, rejecting distractions, being the person he wants to be, not the person he is today. 15 to 20 minutes of this, every day, before the world invades his mind. Meanwhile, you are scrolling through Instagram looking at other people's lives, programming your brain to be a spectator. The millionaire is programming his to be the protagonist. The difference isn't in talent. It's in who wakes up and takes control of their own mind before the chaos of the day does it for you. Now you might be asking yourself, why does this actually work? Some people will tell you it's pseudoscience, that it's desperate coach stuff selling illusions. And look, I get the skepticism. The self-help industry is full of clowns selling smoke, but the science behind mental rehearsal is solid, heavy, and millionaires have known this for decades. Let me introduce you to the bouncer of your mind, the reticular activating system, RAS for short. It sits at the base of your brain. Its job, filtering information. Your brain gets millions of signals a second. Millions. If you paid attention to everything, you'd lose your mind in 30 seconds. So the RAS acts like a VIP club bouncer. It decides who gets in and who stays outside. And do you know how it decides? Based on what you program as important. Classic example. You buy a red car. Suddenly you see red cars everywhere. They were always there. But the RAS didn't care. Now that you have one, it marked it as relevant. It shows you all of them. The millionaire uses mental rehearsal to program his RAS. When he spends 20 minutes every day visualizing closing deals, making money, building an empire, the RAS gets the memo. This right here is top priority. Then he goes out into the world, and his brain starts filtering reality differently. He spots opportunities you don't even see. He hears conversations that go right past you. Not because he is smarter, but because the bouncer in his mind is looking for different things. You programmed your RAS to look for threats, bills, problems. He programmed his to look for money, connections, leverage, same reality. 2 completely different filters. And there's more. Neuroplasticity. The brain isn't fixed. It changes based on what you repeat. When you mentally rehearse an action, You create real neural connections, new synapses, pathways that didn't exist before. There is a famous study. Researchers at the University of Chicago took basketball players, divided them into 3 groups. First group practiced free throws physically every day. Second group did nothing. Third group only mentally rehearsed the shots, just visualized. The result? The group that trained physically improved by 24%. Expected. The group that did nothing? 0 improvement. Obvious. But the group that only visualized? They improved by 23%, almost the same result as physical training, without touching the ball, just using the mind. Let that sink in. 23% improvement. No physical action, just mental repetition. Now think about the power of this for business, for difficult conversations, for closing sales, for leading teams. If it works for free throws, why wouldn't it work for the rest of your life? The answer is it does. It always has. Elite athletes have known this since the 70s. The military trains soldiers like this. Surgeons rehearse complex operations mentally before picking up the scalpel. But no one taught you to apply this to build wealth, to reprogram your financial identity, to train your brain to be a millionaire before having the first million in the account. Millionaires don't hide this information on purpose. They just learned early, had mentors, read the right studies. While you were being taught to work hard and save money, they were being taught to reprogram their own neurology. Now you know. The secret isn't a secret anymore. The science is there. Peer-reviewed studies. MRIs showing the same brain areas lighting up during visualization and real action. The only question left is, what are you going to do with this information? And I'm warning you now, this is the part that hurts, because you have probably tried visualization before, tried affirmations, woke up excited thinking, today is going to be different. And a week later you were in the same spot. Same bank account, same frustration. I was that guy. I was the idiot shouting motivational phrases in the mirror looking like a lunatic, and guess what? My bank account stayed at 0. It only changed when I understood where I was going wrong and how to do it the right way. Understand right now why it isn't working. You're likely visualizing without emotion. You close your eyes and think, I want $1 million. Cold, distant, like you're reading a grocery list. Bread, milk, $1 million. Your brain doesn't care about that. 0 impact. Visualization without emotion is like lifting weights with 0 resistance. You are moving, but nothing is being built. The millionaire doesn't visualize the money. He visualizes what the money does. He feels the relief in his chest when he looks at the bank account and that tightness is gone. He feels the freedom to say no to projects he hates. He feels the pride of paying for his kids' college in cash. He feels emotion is the fuel. Without it, you are just daydreaming. Then there is the sensory issue. You aren't engaging the 5 senses. You visualize a vague image, a generic scenario. Me driving a nice car. Which car? What color? What does the engine sound like? The smell of the leather seat? The texture of the steering wheel in your hand when you take the curve? Details matter. The more real it is inside your head, the more real the brain registers it. Remember the basketball study? They didn't visualize playing ball. They visualized the weight of the ball, the distance to the hoop, the sound of the net when the ball swishes. Specific, sensory, real. You are painting with a broad brush. The millionaire is painting with a fine brush. But the worst mistake? You are visualizing the wrong version of yourself. You close your eyes and try to see yourself as a millionaire. But deep down, you don't believe it. You see the image, but you feel the lie. The brain rejects it. That's not me. I'm not that guy. You know why? Because you skipped steps. You are trying to visualize the destination without visualizing the journey. You want the million, but you didn't rehearse the difficult conversations. Didn't rehearse making brave decisions. Didn't rehearse waking up with discipline when you are tired. The millionaire rehearses the identity, not just the result. He sees himself being the person who does what needs to be done. He rehearses saying no, rehearses negotiating firmly, rehearses keeping calm when everything is falling apart. He builds the version of himself that deserves the million. Then the million is just a natural consequence. And one more thing. You are doing this once a week when you remember. Or you do it perfectly for 3 days and then quit. Or you do it in a rush 5 minutes running because you're already late. Mental rehearsal isn't an event. It is a protocol. Every day, same time, non-negotiable, 20 sacred minutes. The millionaire treats this like brushing teeth. It's not optional. It is mental hygiene. You were sold the idea that the law of attraction is magic, that you just have to want it really bad and the universe delivers. That is a lie. And I know it's a lie because I know people who have wanted it really bad for 20 years and are still broke. The truth? Attraction without action is just delusion. You rehearse the meeting, but when the time comes, you don't show up. You visualize closing the deal, but you don't pick up the phone to call the client. Then you aren't using the tool. You are hiding from it. The millionaire mentally rehearses to calibrate real execution. He uses the morning's 20 minutes to program the RAS, align the emotion, build neural confidence. Then he goes out and acts. Rehearsal and action, visualization and execution, both together. Separated, they are useless. So stop blaming the technique. Stop blaming the universe. Stop blaming luck. The problem isn't mental rehearsal. The problem is that you are doing it wrong, without emotion, without details, without consistency, without action afterward. And while you do it wrong, the millionaire is doing it right. Every day, with emotion, with details, with brutal execution in the real world. Now you know where you are messing up. Are you going to fix it, or are you going to keep blaming the method? By the way, if you are truly committed to changing this, type in the comments right now, I take control. It's not just a pretty phrase. It is you planting a flag. It is you telling your own brain that this time is different. Go ahead. Write it. Now, we arrive at the most important point of the video, the exact protocol, the step-by-step you are going to follow starting tomorrow morning. No theory, no fluff, just what works. You wake up. Before anything else, before the phone, before the bathroom, if you can hold it, you protect these 20 minutes. Don't negotiate. Your brain is in theta. The window is open. You have 20 minutes to plant the right seeds before the world invades. Start by sitting on the edge of the bed or just stay lying down. Whatever is comfortable. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths. Slowly. Inhale through the nose. Hold for 3 seconds. Exhale through the mouth. You aren't trying to meditate. You are just keeping the brain in that malleable state. Wet clay, remember? Now comes the rehearsal. And pay attention because this is where most people screw it up. You are not going to visualize being rich. You are going to choose a specific scene from your day. Something that will happen today or in the next few days. A meeting, a call, a negotiation, a tough conversation. A moment where you need to be the upgraded version of yourself. Got it? Great. Now you are going to live that scene from the inside. First person. You are not watching a movie of you. You are there. Looking through your own eyes. Start with the environment. Where are you? What is the place like? What time is it? Is natural light coming through the window? Are you standing or sitting? Can you feel the chair underneath you? The texture of the fabric? The temperature of the room? Is it hot or is the AC blasting? Details. The more the better. Then focus on the people. Who is in the room with you? How are they dressed? Their facial expressions? Are they relaxed or tense? Can you hear their breathing? The sound of a pen tapping on the desk? Someone scrolling on their phone? You build the complete scene. Realistic. No fantasy. No Hollywood movie set. Just the reality you want to create. Now you act. Inside the visualization, you speak. Hear your own voice. Firm. Clear. Confident. You present your idea. You make the proposal. You say no to something that doesn't serve you. You lead. And while you speak, you feel the emotion in your body, confidence in the chest, that feeling of, I know what I'm doing. It's not arrogance, it's certainty. You've already done this 1,000 times inside your head. Now it's just one more rep. See the reaction. They accept, they agree, they respect you. You feel the handshake, the texture of the other person's skin, the weight of the grip, the warmth. You hear, we have a deal. You see the smile. And then you take a deep breath inside the visualization. That sigh of victory, that feeling of, I did it. You allow your body to feel this. Shoulders relax, jaw loosens, you smile. Stay in this feeling for a few seconds. Let the brain absorb it. This is the most important part, the emotion at the end. The brain registers it as a reward, as a memory of success. Then you exit that scene and choose another one. It can be something smaller. You waking up with energy, going to the gym, rejecting the temptation to scroll the feed, making a fast decision instead of procrastinating. You rehearse the identity of the person you want to be. 5 to 7 minutes per scene, 2 or 3 scenes per session, 20 minutes total. Every day, same time, before the chaos, before the notifications, before the fake urgencies of the world try to hijack your attention, and then you get up and act. You don't stay lying down dreaming all day. You use the 20 minutes to calibrate the brain. Now you go out and execute. The rehearsal gave you confidence. The action gives you results. Both together create momentum. Because there is one thing you need to understand. Mental rehearsal doesn't replace work. It optimizes work. It puts you in the right mental state to do what needs to be done. It removes hesitation. It kills self-sabotage. You go to the meeting and you don't freeze, because you've already been there 1,000 times. You pick up the phone and call the client without anxiety, because you've already heard the whole conversation inside your head. You take the hard decision without second-guessing, because you've already rehearsed being the person who takes hard decisions. It's simple, so simple that most ignore it. They think it needs to be complicated to work, needs to have an elaborate ritual, needs a certificate, needs a guru charging $5,000. It doesn't. You need 20 minutes, closed eyes, and brutal commitment to repetition. Every day. No exceptions. No excuses. Millionaires don't do this because it's cute. They do it because it works. And they don't stop when it gets boring. They don't stop when they don't see results in the first week. They do it for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, until the brain reprograms, until the new identity cements. Then they look back and barely recognize who they were before, because the person they rehearsed being became the person they are. And the money? The money is just the natural consequence of someone who thinks, acts, and decides like a millionaire. So tomorrow morning, you have a choice. Either you grab your phone and program your brain to be a spectator, or you close your eyes and program your brain to be the protagonist. This is everything that separates you from the millionaire version of yourself. If you made it this far, I'm launching a challenge. Test the method without failing, doing it the right way, and then come back here in the comments to tell me your results. Think about it. The next 90 days are going to pass anyway. Who are you going to be at the end of them? The same person with the same excuses? Or someone that the you of today barely recognizes? Mental rehearsal isn't magic, and the millionaire understood this early. You are understanding it now, and there is still time. If this video shifted something in your mind, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Seriously. The algorithm needs to show this to more people who are stuck in the same place you were before watching this video. And tell me in the comments, have you practiced this technique before, or are you starting now? What is the first scene you are going to practice? Write it down to lock in your commitment. I'll see you in the next video.